Hey, what's up, guys? I'm David Glenn with the Pro Audio Files and davidglennrecording.com. Today, I wanted to share an excerpt with you that comes straight out of my membership site called The Mix Academy. Over at The Mix Academy, we take songs every month to get a new song. We mix it from start to finish and show everything from opening up the session and building the vision all the way through to bus processing and printing the final mix. We have a monthly coaching call. We do a private community, all kinds of cool stuff over there. Mix a song, use it for your resume, etc. Right now, we have a sweet thing going on. If you're watching this video, then we have an exclusive deal for you. You have 30 days for just $1. You get in for $1, and you can try it out, feel it out, decide if it's for you, and go from there. Maybe you just want to do it for $1 and then cancel right away. You can totally do that too. But hopefully you'll stay around. You'll enjoy what you experience. Your mixes will be better, and you'll want to continue. But if you want to bypass the $1 trial and go to a monthly, it's just $27 a month. And with the $27 a month or the annual plan, you actually get to pick up a free bonus course, which is around $57 to $97 each. And you get to pick one of those for free at $27. And that's there for you as well. So thanks for giving this a look. Either way, I would love for you to enjoy the tutorial. We've got the kick drum tutorial coming now. All right, guys, we're going to take a look at the drums. Usually I start out trial and error, just kind of feeling it out, moving things around, gating, pushing up on the console, that kind of stuff. For this one, I went off camera and I blended the drums a little bit because I chose to blend triggers. Actually, for the kick, I chose to replace it, but I blended a kind of a pop cinematic kick with a, well, let's take a look. So I've got... First up on the kick drum, I chose to mute and not use the live kick. Boo, right? Not that it wasn't usable. It was just that for me, kind of going through it, as I messed around with it, I felt like this is going to take a little bit more work than if I were to replace. The samples nowadays are so good, especially Slate's Blackbird bundle, and the way that it tracks the dynamics of the player. I love it. So for me, time is money. I was going to go ahead and make that happen quickly. So let's take a look at the original kick. I'll mute my second sample. Here's the original. Okay. And so we could gate that. We could go in and clean up some of the mid-range. We can add a little more click. We can tighten it up. We could use transient designers and give it more punch and attack. We can use multi-band transient designers and give more oomph to the bottom and the top and all of that. And we can stack plugins and go to town and have fun with this. But for me, I was just like, you know what? I know there's some great samples in my bundle here, so I went ahead and went to town. So here's what I did. First up, I chose to replace it with the Gretsch preset in the Slate Blackbird bundle. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. I love the way that they've recorded multiple velocities, so you can really retain through some trickery with trigger and playing with the dynamics and velocity settings of parameters and trigger. You can really retain a lot of what that the drummer recorded. And so I like to use that for this. Let's go ahead and hear the trigger. Okay, so kind of a boxy kind of thing going on, but I liked it for this song. But you'll see in a second what we did to kind of emphasize some other things in it. So what did we do? So we tightened up the sustain and the release for the direct mics. Kick in, kick out, kick effects. I left the overheads and the room mics open, the full sustain and release, the decay is there. But then for the dynamics, like I talked about, I restricted their range, first of all, for 115 to 127. That's going to be medium to hard and all hard hits. There was nowhere in the kick that I felt like he was playing really soft and then building or anything like that, or I would either go in and open that range a little bit or automate it so that it felt a little more natural. But these are mostly medium to hard hits. The dynamics and velocity, you can see here, you got the full range of dynamics. I've just restricted that. Again, not anything in this kick performance that I felt like needed a really soft hit through to a medium or a hard hit. And that was a kick for that. Then I went to the EQ. It looks a little crazy, but I wanted a little more punch in it, and I wanted a little bit less of the mid-range stuff. I like that it was a different kick than I've used in previous months and just kind of switching it up, but there was some stuff about it I wanted to change. And then I blended another kick. So some of these EQ moves are to allow the other kick to do its thing. So here's before, after. Okay, so we're really cleaning up the room mic mid-range there. We're restricting how much that's going to go on. But the punch, a little bit punchier. And there's a little something weird around 180. And obviously that room, this is a big difference here. All right, here's without it. With it. So we're just shaping the mid-range a little bit. That's a pretty common move. A lot of guys like to take out mid in the kick. It's definitely a little more of a rock thing, some indie singer-songwriter stuff. You maybe want to boost some of that. But I wanted this kick to kind of have more definition and be more about the direct mic and not so much about the room. So that was that. The next one up, because I used a mono to stereo instance of trigger. You guys who follow me every month, you're members, you've been a member for a while. I like to take the stereo instance of trigger, and I like to take the 140 hertz and below, the low end, and collapse that down to mono. So that's all this is a imaging plugin to take 140 and below and make it mono. So we still have some warmth on the sides. 140 and up is stereo, so we're getting a decent perspective of the kick in the rooms, but everything 140 and below is down to mono. Real focused. Next up, this is one I need to start using more because this is an incredible plugin. There's so many different tones, especially for sound design, for kicks, snares, toms, anything like that. You can really get some great stuff. This is the Kush Pusher, and I've chosen one of my favorite presets is Slap Happy. This just takes a kick or a snare or even toms from being just kind of natural and chill to being super punchy. Just punches you in the face. I love what this does. Let's hear the before and after. Actually, I'm going to reverse it. For this one, I'm going to show you with it in. Then I'm going to take it out. I'm going to bypass it. Yeah, Pro Tools didn't like that. Let's try again. Okay. Just punch, man. Sounds awesome. I love that. So we're going to leave that in, and I'm going to show you the second kick that I blended. I was listening to the Mercy Me track, and I dislike it more and more as I listen to it. It's just crushed to death, so I don't feel any punch or any transients. But I think the reason why they did that is because the character of it, they like the grit and the distortion, and so they added even more in the mastering phase. I'm not sure because I wasn't involved in that, so I'm not completely sure what they did, but I can hear and kind of reverse engineer what's going on. But if we listen to that, it's got more of a pop kick. It's real aggressive and kind of crazy. So what I did is come back over here. I added in this kick, which by itself doesn't fit this song at all. Let me take out my EQ. Okay, and I got that from, if I remember correctly, the Cinematic Pop library from the guys at That Sound. It's the Attack Kick folder in Cinematic Pop drums, and it's the Attack Kick number 8. And then I was just like, just some bottom end, just some modern pop bottom end, and I wanted to take out the punch because I like the punch in the Gretsch kick, and I like the click in the Gretsch kick, but I want the bottom end to be a little bit more modern. So I blended this in, and here's without the EQ, and then here's with it. And you can hear we're really just focusing on the low end. Now the two together, here's without that kick, just the first kick. Together. More full, more punchy. I think they work well together. The only thing that I did want to mention is I reversed the polarity on this second kick through the Pro Q2. So no matter what EQ you're using, you probably have a polarity switch. Just go ahead and reverse that if you're following a lot of this, or test it out and see which one gives you more bottom end. Sometimes when you reverse the polarity, things get really thin, and you can tell that it's out of phase, so that's fine. Sometimes when you reverse it, you gain a bunch of bottom end, and that's probably what you want. But then other times it's kind of in between, and it only just shifts the sound. It doesn't necessarily make it super thin and out of phase, and it doesn't give you a bunch of bottom end. It almost just kind of shifts where that bottom end is. Sometimes it'll be low subby bottom end, and you gain that. Other times it'll shift the focus from a low subby bottom end to maybe a 70 to 150 hertz punchy kind of bottom end. So then you just got to listen and be the judge for yourself. Trust your ears, whatever you like, what fits the song that you're working on. So I rambled enough about kick drums. Those were the two kicks and the ways that we processed them. You can see that it was about 8 dB or so at 105, 103 with a pretty sharp Q on the slope here. I've got 36 dB per octave slope, and that was that. So moving on to the snare. I worked with the live snare for a minute, and I like I said, the natural vibe of this.